Do you sometimes hear sentences like, it's cold, this is nice, and there's a problem, and feel confused about why English uses different words?
Then this lesson is for you.
Today, we're going to make one very common English topic much clearer. When do we use it's? When do we use this? And when do we use there?
And as always, our lesson is built in two parts. First, we give you a natural dialogue so you hear the English in context.
Then we come back and explain everything step by step in a simple way.
And remember, you can switch the subtitles into your own language if that helps you follow the lesson more easily.
Now let's get into the conversation. Hi, Alex. Today's topic is small but very important.
Hi, Eva. Yes, definitely. These are short words, but they cause a lot of confusion for learners.
Exactly. A lot of people ask, why do we say it's cold, but this is my coffee, and then there's a café near my house?
Yes, because in all three sentences, the meaning feels simple, but the structure changes.
So let's start with it's. When you hear it's cold today, what does it mean there?
That's a very good question, because in that sentence, it does not mean one specific object. It's more like general English for weather, time, distance, or a general situation.
So in it's raining, it's late, it's far, or it's nice here, we use it's because we're talking about a general condition or situation.
Yes, and learners often want to ask, but what is it? And the answer is, in many cases, it is just the normal English subject for that kind of sentence.
That's such an important point. Now let's compare that with this. If I say, this is my phone, what am I doing differently?
Then you are pointing to something specific, or introducing something specific, usually something near you.
Perfect. So this is often about something close, visible, present, or specific.
Yes, for example, this is my bag. This coffee is really good. This is what I mean. This looks interesting.
That makes a lot of sense. So this is more specific than it's.
Definitely. With this, you are directing attention to something.
Now let's move to there. If I say, there's a book on the table, what is happening there?
Then you are not describing the book itself first. You are saying that something exists or is present somewhere.
Right. So there is or there are is often used to say that something exists, appears, or can be found somewhere.
Yes, for example, there's a problem. There's a bus stop near my house. There are 2 chairs in the kitchen. There's someone at the door.
That's very clear. So there is introduces existence, while this is identifies something specific, and it's often describes a general condition or situation.
Yeah, exactly. That's a very good summary.
So let's compare 3 short examples. It's cold, this is cold, there's cold water in the fridge.
Yes, those are great examples. In it's cold, we're talking about the weather or general temperature. In this is cold, we're talking about one specific thing, maybe coffee or soup. And in there's cold water in the fridge, we're saying that cold water exists there.
That's so useful. I think examples like that help learners feel the difference much more clearly.
Yes, because the problem is not only grammar, it's the way English organizes meaning.
That's such a good point. What about sentences like, it's my brother, this is my brother, and there's my brother? They feel similar, but they're not the same.
This is my brother is what you say when you introduce him directly. It's my brother is often what you say when the identity becomes clear, for example, on the phone or when someone asks who it is. And there's my brother means something like, look, my brother is there, or I can see him now.
That's such an important distinction. So even when the same noun appears, the structure changes the meaning.
Yes, definitely.
What about there on its own, without is or are?
That's another useful point. Sometimes there just means in that place. For example, put it there. I went there yesterday. She's standing over there. In those cases, there is about location, not existence.
Yes, and that's where learners often get confused, because there can mean two different things. There are for existence, and there for location.
You got it. But once you notice that difference, it becomes much easier.
That makes sense. So if I say, there's a cafe there, the first there introduces existence, and the second there means location.
Exactly. That's a perfect example.
That's actually very useful. Now, what about common learner mistakes?
One very common mistake is using this when English really wants its. For example, learners may say, this is cold today, when they mean the weather, but English normally says, it's cold today.
Yes, that's a big one. And another mistake is forgetting there is when introducing something. For example, a learner may say, a bus stop near my house. But English usually says, there's a bus stop near my house.
Exactly, because English usually wants that structure when you first say that something exists somewhere.
That's very true. What about this in conversation? I think it's also used a lot when showing, offering, or introducing ideas.
Yes, definitely. We say things like, this is for you. This is my favorite part. This is what I wanted to show you. Listen to this. So again, this brings something specific into focus.
That's such a useful way to explain it. So maybe we can say, it's general condition, situation, identity in some cases. This specific thing close to us or in focus. There is, there are, something exists somewhere. There, location.
Yes, that's exactly the core idea.
So if someone asks, how do I know which one to use, what would you say?
I'd say first ask yourself what kind of meaning you want. Are you describing a general situation? Then it's may be right. Are you pointing to or introducing something specific? Then this may be right. Are you saying that something exists somewhere? Then use there is or there are. Are you talking about place only? Then use there as location.
That's such a clear explanation, and I think this topic becomes much easier when learners stop memorizing random rules and start noticing the meaning pattern.
You're absolutely right. Once the meaning becomes clear, the grammar feels much more natural.
Okay, now let's look at the key ideas from the dialogue and make this topic simple and clear.
Yes, because learners often confuse these words not because they are difficult, but because they are small and very common.
Let's start with it's. We often use it's for weather, time, distance, general situations, general comments. Examples, it's cold, it's raining, it's late, it's far, it's nice here, it's not easy.
In these sentences, it is not one special object, it is just the natural English subject for that kind of idea.
Exactly. Now let's move to this. We use this when we talk about something specific, usually near us, visible, present, or in focus. Examples, this is my phone, this is my friend Daniel, this coffee is nice, this looks good, this is what I mean. Listen to this.
So this helps us point to something, show something, or introduce something specific.
Perfect. Now let's look at the there is, there are forms. We use these forms when we say that something exists or is present somewhere. Examples, there's a cafe near my house. There's a problem. There's someone outside. There are 2 books on the table. There are a lot of people here.
This structure is very important because English often uses it to introduce something for the first time.
Yes, definitely. And now the other use of there. Sometimes there simply means in that place. Examples, put it there. I went there yesterday. She's sitting over there. We stayed there for 2 hours.
So here, there is about location, not existence.
That's the point. Now let's compare them clearly. It's cold. General situation. This is cold. One specific thing is cold. There's cold water in the fridge. Cold water exists there. The water is there. Location only.
Those comparisons really help.
Yes, because this topic becomes easier when you see the meaning difference. Here are some very useful phrases from today's lesson. It's cold today. It's late. This is my bag. This is what I mean. There's a shop near here. There are two people outside. Put it there. I went there yesterday. There's my bus. It's my brother. This is my brother. There's my brother.
That's a very strong set of examples.
Yes, and now let's put it together into one natural explanation. We use it's for general situations, like weather, time, or comments. We use this for something specific that we are showing, introducing, or talking about directly. We use there is or there are to say that something exists somewhere. And we use there on its own when we mean a place or location.
That sounds clear, simple, and very easy to remember.
That's true. Now, let's practice a little. How do you talk about the weather?
It's.
How do you introduce something specific near you?
This is.
How do you say that something exists somewhere?
There's or there are.
And how do you talk about place only?
It's there or I went there.
Very good. So, as you can see, it's, this, and there are small words, but they do very different jobs in English.
And once you understand the meaning behind each one, the grammar becomes much easier.
Exactly. And that's what makes your English feel clearer, more natural, and more confident.
And if you enjoy lessons like this, don't forget to subscribe.
It really helps the channel grow and helps more learners practice English in a natural way. So keep learning, keep listening, and we'll see you in the next lesson. Bye!